Hi, this is Casey, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what has to be one of my most favorite components of Google, and that is their Google Apps. I liken the Google Apps very much to the Apple iPad apps or the Apple Store apps. Um, Google now is making more and more apps available for the Chrome book users, for Google Play, and it will be a matter of time before they rival the number of apps that are available on the iPad. There are some apps that are only exclusive to the iPad, and there are some apps that are exclusive to Chromebook, to Google, but there are many that do cross platforms. And so that makes it quite useful if you have multiple devices that you are using in the classroom or even at home. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where we can go to the Google apps, where we can find it, and we're going to get started. I do have to tell you, though, that I can get lost in the Google Web Store. It is very much like your Google App Store account. There's thousands of apps out there, and you can get caught up in just looking and reading about them and practicing, and so you really kind of have to know what you're looking for, and but it's also fun whenever you've got a little bit of free time to go in there and just kind of look at what's available. So anytime I pull up my Google main page, down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can find your Google Apps. Whenever I pull up my Chrome browser, whenever I pull up my email, whenever I pull up my Google search, your apps are also available in the top right-hand corner. What I really like about Google Apps is I can differentiate learning for every student in my classroom. I can personalize learning for every student in my classroom. Those teachers that incorporate Genius Hour and passion projects, this is perfect. Those students who may be struggling with some concepts or who might not be as fluent in maybe their sight words as some of your other students, you can find apps that will help reinforce that, and you can assign it just to that student's Google account. And even though that student is not at school, and if they're at home, if they have access to the internet and to a device, they can pull up their Google account, they can access their apps, and those apps that you have given to them, to their account at school, will show up at home. So imagine the opportunities for reinforcement and for practicing at home to help in the classroom. It is just mind-boggling, the opportunities here. So let's go ahead and let's go into our apps. These are the apps that this quick app up at the top, I can get to my app store there, but these are the ones that I tend to use most. And so these are kind of some that Google have given you that are apps that might help with your workflow within the classroom. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to my actual apps that are down here on my left-hand side in the bottom, at the bottom of my page. So I'm going to click on my apps. Now, if you can see my page, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different pages of apps. So if you're new to Google Apps, you will not have as many pages. But as you keep adding apps to your account, then you will continue to have, you'll still only have 16 to a page, but what it'll do is it'll keep adding more and more pages. Okay, so on your first page is going to be your web store, and that's where you're going to want to go to search for your apps. So we're going to go into the web store. Now, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have kind of an idea of what you're looking for, because it can be overwhelming if not. If you notice up here at the top, the featured apps for the day are going to be located, and it shows you a quick little slideshow. And these are some of the apps that are highlighted for this day. Now, imagine if you want to know what this is about, you can just hover your mouse over that particular image and it'll tell you what it's about. In Forge of Empires, you control the fate of your city throughout different historical periods. Imagine if you were a middle school or high school history teacher, imagine reinforcing what you're learning in the classroom through playing this game. Gamification, game-based learning in education is a big trend right now. And just because they're not doing worksheets doesn't mean that they're not learning. If you use the games in the correct way, and if you have them reflect and blog after, and if there's certain challenges that you feel that they need to incorporate that meet your content you're learning and teaching in the classroom, these can be powerful learning tools. So that's just something to think about. But if you notice over here on the side, we have a search function, so you can search for something particular, or we've got them kind of filtered for you. We've got popular, we've got recommended for you, popular in the US, and then we've got collections. And as you can see, they kind of get you started with elementary, middle, high school. I would recommend going through each of these. However, I've had more luck with educational class, with the education filter than I have with elementary. But I still look at both. One thing that I do want to mention is Google is coming out with more and more offline apps, meaning if you have access to your Chromebook, but you don't have access to the internet or Wi-Fi, you can still participate in producing and in creating with these offline apps. You can still create and produce anything in Google Drive. You just can't share it. You just can't access stuff from the internet, but you can still produce the product. The same thing with Google Apps. There are a lot of them that require the internet in order to be able to function properly, but they are making more and more apps that are able to be used offline. So that's something really cool. So here we go. I'm going to go into education, and then they're going to start showing me in the education filter, you've got your highlighted apps. We've got Typing Club. We've got Study Life. We've got GeoGebra, which is like geoboards and helping with constructing different geometric shapes. We've got ScootPad. There's just tons of different apps that are highlighted for the day or for the week. But if there's nothing up there that you like, then you can just start scrolling down. I'm going to close this little window out right there. And here you go. If I'm studying the solar system, planetarium, if I'm doing a Genius Hour or a passion project, and my student is absolutely enthralled with space, why not let that student download this app onto their account? If he's got free time, I would much rather him be on this planetarium app than I would be doing something else. Those of you that are in biology, you've got the Biodigital Human. You've got doctor games, Quizlet, anatomy games. This is for learn languages completely free, French, Spanish. Learn Japanese, Type Fu. You've got Equation Editor. There's just tons of, here's a 3D solar system simulator, 3D solar system web. This one, my kids, I've got to say, I've got about 5 kids in my classroom right now who have this one downloaded. Not everybody has it, but they are so into engineering and creating, and they love to take things apart and put it back together, and in the design something, they have opportunities to actually create things. So there's just tons of different apps that are available for students to be able to use, okay, and for teachers to be able to use. Now, if there's something, here's something for the periodic table. Look at this. If you're looking to those that are taking grad classes or that are trying to take their testing to get into grad school, I mean, there's tons of ACT prep, SAT prep. There's tons of different apps that are available, and most of them are free. Well, all of them initially will be free. You may only get so many levels of free play or free use, and then you'll have to purchase additional, but all of them in the beginning will be free. Okay, so say that I am wanting to, let's try this interactive fraction wall. This is something that I want to be able to add to my computer or to my account, because remember, if I am off of my computer and I'm at someone's house and I have access to an internet and I log into my Google account through Google Chrome, my apps will pop up on that computer. So here's Fraction Wall by Visnos. Here it'll tell me a little bit about it, and I hit free. And it's checking. And it says, do you want to add Fraction Wall by Visnos? And I say add. And in just a minute, you can see that it's there. And it's as simple as that. Once I've added something to my store already, I will have, when I go to click on it, instead of a free, you see how this one it says add to Chrome, or this one says free. This one right here says rate it. So that means I've already downloaded it, and now it wants me to just rate it. And I don't have to if I don't want to. Okay? And it's as simple as that. Now, say that I've got something on there and I really don't want it anymore. Okay? So what I can do is I double click, and on the Chromebook, you just click your finger twice. Hold on. It's not, oh, that opened it up. So all you have to do is just click on it and it'll open it. But say that in my Google Apps, I have something that I want to get rid of. So I can double click on something. It did it again. But by double clicking on it, you can, come on, let's try it again. There we go. I can remove from Chrome. So as you can see right here, I have the option to remove from Chrome. And if I don't want it, I remove it, and now it's not there anymore. Okay? Now, I have 8 pages of apps, and it can be kind of tedious on locating an app that I might like. Very similar to your smartphone, you can take an app, you can click on it and hold it, and you can attach it to another app, and it'll kind of create like a little pod. Okay, so that's kind of a very neat way to put maybe all of the apps you might use for reading groups, or maybe all of your presentation apps together, or something like that. That is a way for you to be able to organize. I'm going to add this one in there too, and I just hover over the circle and I add it, and now I have 3. Okay, or say that I want to move one onto another page. Say that instead of doing my little circle, I just want to make page 1 all of this, page 2 all of that. So what I can do is I can hover over it, and I can just slide it to another page. Okay, or I can change the location of it. Okay, and so by doing that, I can add it. Say maybe I want to add it to the last page, and I can just put it here, and it'll click right there, and it moved my Monster Math over. So it's very easy on being able to organize. The hard part is being able to, it's not being able to find what you want, because there's tons out there. It's just having the time to be able to see, because once you get in there and start working on it, it is going to be addictive, and you're going to want to keep going. Now let's talk a little bit about how I differentiate. Okay, I have some students. If I had a small group, I would call my students over to my table and I would do a small group. And there would be a couple, I'd have them log into their Chromebooks, which they already are. And I would have them do a search for a particular app. And then I would have them download that app into their account. And so by doing that, I can make sure that they all have it. If there's a particular app that you are wanting everybody to have, you can contact your app administrator and they can push it out for you. Okay. So for me, it's just been easier to just call those groups of students over and to tell them to put this app on their account. And then I know that they have it. So I hope you have fun kind of looking at the different apps that are available. As always, if you have something that you know you're looking for, like if I know that I'm looking for teacher and administration tools, if I'm looking for productivity, meaning presentations and stuff like that, if I'm looking for learning starts here, I mean, there's just tons of things. If I already know what I am looking for, then I can just quickly go up to this search and I can type what I'm looking for. And it'll bring me to tons of different apps that'll be giving me what linked with presentation apps. Okay, so once here's all, it is also filtered into just apps. It's filtered into extensions. Extensions are add-ons to apps and add-ons to Google Drive components that help make the workflow a little easier. There's themes. You can look for presentation apps that just run offline, presentation apps just made by Google that are free, that are available for Android. So there's just tons of different filtering opportunities. So I hope you have fun getting out there and looking and really use it to the potential that it could be used within the classroom. Enjoy.